Radio Production Studios production. Copyright 2023 by You're listening to EVOL Radio with your host, playing a huge mix of the most dirty, heavy, danceable, underground, electronica, rock, metal, and industrial. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show. This is the EVOL Radio broadcast. I am your host, DJ Darkside. We are kicking off this week with a song by a band from Muncie, Indiana called Hell Came Home with their song Blinded. EVOL Radio Live, CincyUnderground.com. Thanks for keeping it evil. ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show. I want to take a moment away from the music and say thank you very much for tuning in on the live streams. I very much appreciate you, and I do what I do so that you can be exposed to new music. That was Zero Signal with their song Pull the Trigger. Before that was Hell Came Home with their song Blinded. This next song is by a project from Dayton. Very cool guys, very good people. We interviewed them a few weeks ago. Check them out. They have a new album called Metaxi. This is their song Metaxi from that album. Enjoy. EVOL Radio Live, CincyUnderground.com. Social media live streams. Thanks for keeping it evil. Technical difficulties. Come on, man. Well, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, technical difficulties. Hopefully at some point the broadcasting software will resume. But I suppose I can just take a break and give you some news. Oh, Is it going to work? Oh, who knows? It's always a bit of a gamble. This is fun. This is like playing live on stage. Anything can happen. So it's about really trying to get it to play. Yeah. So that was X Diode with their song Metaxi, from their album Metaxi. And this is Edge of Life with their song My Friend. EVOL Radio Live, SincyUnderground.com. Tuning in with me through the technical difficulties. We'll get through this together.
Erase from my mind all the soul
You are listening to EVOL Radio Live. I'm your host, DJ Darkside. Thank you for tuning in with me on this episode of EVOL Radio. I'm battling some technical difficulties, and your support means a lot to me. If you like what you hear, be sure to, just like our page at EVOL Radio on Facebook, or any social media really, or share with your friends. Anything helps us out. I am going to take a break from the music, and we're going to do some music entertainment news. This article is from sideline.com. One of my favorites is about Static X. The article says, Static X released official music video for Dead Souls featuring Ministry's Al Jorgensen and the late Wayne Static on vocals. It says Static X have released a new music video for the song Dead Souls, taken from their 7th studio album entitled Project Regeneration Volume 1, out now. The video was directed by Wombat Fire, and the song features guest vocals from Ministry's Al Jorgensen, but also the late Wayne Static. You can go on side-line.com and check out the video below. There's a quote from Tony Campos about the song. He says, "The song has become one of my favorite tracks on the record." Tony Campos is their bass player, by the way. Tony Campos says, "This song has become one of my favorite tracks on the record. We had no intention on doing a video for it initially, but it came out so good we had to do it." He says, "I'm so grateful to Al Jorgensen for singing on the track with Wayne. Ministry was a big influence on us, and I know Wayne would have been just as stoked as I am to have Al sing on one of our records. I think the video fits the song really well. It's really dark, creepy, with just a touch of humor." The article goes on to inform you, just in case you did not know, very sad, Wayne Static died in his sleep on November 1st, 2014 in Laners, California, 3 days before his 49th birthday. That is one of the celebrity deaths that happened that really hit me hard. He is a huge influence on my own music and my own playing and my own stage show. Really looked up to that guy, and he made amazing music. It really just blew my mind when I found out about Static X. The article says an autopsy later confirmed that Static had died of multiple prescription drug toxicity consisting of the painkillers oxycodone, hydromorphone, and the anti-anxiety medication alprazolam combined with alcohol, though the report also noted that past chronic prescription drug and alcohol abuse was a contributing factor. And if you guys know about Wayne and his wife Tara, she died not too long after. Kind of romantic, although sad. So check out the article on side-line.com and check out their new album, Project Regeneration Volume 1. Also the video, Dead Souls. So we are also going to go to loudwire.com and check out an article entitled 30 years ago, Megadeth released the tech trash groundbreaker, Rust in Peace. I don't know if you're a fan of Megadeth, but if you're not, you should be. The article says 3 albums virtually define Megadeth. The first is 1986's Peace Sells, But Who's Buying? A thrasher piece that should stand near the top of anyone's list of top metal albums. Then there's 1992's Countdown to Extinction, the band's most commercially successful album and one that brought Megadeth to the mainstream. But perhaps the band's greatest creative achievement, and one that inspired scores of budding tech metal bands, is Rust in Peace, which came out on September 24th, 1990, 30 years ago. Makes me feel old. The album was the first to feature drummer Nick Menza, who started out as Chuck Beeler's tech, his drum tech, but who stole Beeler's job when he was too wasted to play. Around the same time, Megadeth also needed to replace guitarist Jeff Young, who wasn't getting along with the other band members. Dave Mustaine attempted to hire a younger guitar whiz from the band Pantera who went by the name Diamond Darrell, later known as Dimebag Darrell. He says, "I called up Darrell and asked him if he wanted to play with us," Mustaine told me in 2010. Darrell goes, "Well, yeah, man, love to come play with you, but I gotta bring my brother." And I went, "Okay, what's your brother do?" I didn't know who Vince was, Vinnie Paul. And I thought he was Dime's guitar tech. And he goes, "Nah, he's my drummer." And I went, "Oh, I just hired Nick Menza." And he said, "Well, then I can't come." And I went, okay, well, nice talking to you. And later I was thinking, man, if I would have just hired both of them, I would have had the greatest band in the world. Instead, Mustaine tried out numerous players, none of whom fit the band. Then he was in his manager Ron Lafitte's office one day and saw a record by a shredder named Marty Friedman entitled Dragon's Kiss. The cover art was silly, but the playing was impressive, so Mustaine asked Friedman to audition, and the guitarist destroyed. With a revamped lineup in place, Mustaine wrote Rust in Peace. The concept for the album came from a bumper sticker Mustaine saw in a car one day while driving down the freeway. It read, "May all your nuclear weapons rust in peace." With a mildly political theme to work from, Mustaine wrote songs about global warming and the environment, prisoners of war, and he penned music for the monster single Hangar 18, which is about UFOs. Then there was Holy Wars, The Punishment Due, which was about religion, but which also took a self-depreciating stab at a gaffe Mustaine made at a show in Northern Ireland. I introduced the last song of the night, Anarchy in the UK, with the following proclamation. "Give Ireland back to the Irish," Mustaine wrote in his memoir, Mustaine. "My words created a parting of the Red Sea in front of the stage. Catholic kids on one side, Protestant kids on the other. What they had in common was drunkenness and a willingness to fight at the slightest provocation, and I'd give it to them." The show ended immediately, and we were quickly escorted out of the area in a bulletproof bus. You can read more about the article on loudwire.com. It says, Megadeth Rust in Peace album anniversary. We are going to take a look at brutalresonance.com about the let's take a look at this article. It's entitled "Industrial Band The State Releases Short Horror Film for Dark Empty House." Industrial band The State has released a music video for their song Dark Empty House. Using an extended mix of the song, The State has crafted a short horror film. The video was shot by Misha Panov and stars Raphael Eghurst. You can stream the video directly below on brutalresonance.com. You can also grab the music on the link. And that is it for our music entertainment news. I want to take a moment away from the music entertainment news and let you know that this September is Suicide Awareness or Suicide Prevention Month, and probably around 7 o'clock we have an interview with Ayatoya. I don't know if you know of her. She is very awesome, very empowering. She is a one-woman industrial army. Very awesome music. We played her before on the broadcast, but she has a cause about suicide awareness. Someone close to her suffered from suicidal thoughts, and actually took her life. So we're going to be talking about that and some other stuff coming up around 7 o'clock. I want to remind you that the Suicide Prevention Lifeline, if you don't have anybody to talk to and you feel like you're having suicidal thoughts and the answer to your problems is suicide, reach out to your friends, reach out to your family, reach out to me. I'm always available. If you don't want to talk to any of us, you can call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. The number is 1-800-273-8255. Or if you are anxious about talking on the phone to people you don't know, there's a chat button at the top right of the screen. You are important, you matter, you are worthy, you are enough, and you are loved. If by no one else, I love you. So please stay around. If you have not heard from your friends in a while, check on them. Take 30 seconds out of your day and send them a text message or a message on Messenger and ask them how they are. Suicide is something that I have dealt with, suicidal thoughts, and actually in the past year I've tried to take my life 5 times. But obviously the universe wants to keep me around to give you guys great music and to do interviews and to try to empower you and change the world with light and love. So that's why. Anyway, we're going to get back to the music. This next song is by a band called Factor 8 with their song The Tower. Thank you for tuning in on this episode of EVOL Radio Live. I'm your host, DJ Darkside, and well, the tower's not going to work, so we're going to try to play Crossroads by Losing September from Muncie, Indiana, now from Pittsburgh. This is your song Crossroads, EVOL Radio Live, DJ Darkside, CincyUnderground.com studios. Thanks for keeping it evil. Dinner! Technical difficulties. You are listening to EVOL Radio Live. I'm your host, DJ Darkside. I appreciate each and every one of you tuning in with me on this episode. We're going through a bunch of music from, people like GlitchMode. We always support them. DSBP Records, Distortion Productions, EVM Worldwide. We're trying to add other music all the time. New music, underground music, unsigned artists, tons of music. Just trying to help talented people get out there and help you tuning in to be exposed to some really good music. Always playing the most dirty, heavy, danceable, underground, electronica, rock, metal, and industrial. We're streaming on multiple live streaming platforms, CincyUnderground.com, TuneIn app, on Twitch, Facebook and Instagram live feed. Additionally, EVOL Radio is rebroadcast and syndicated on WaxRadio Indy from 12 a.m. to 2 a.m. on Saturday, and on 103.5 KLST Radio Kallisti, which is radiokallisti.org. We're also on YouTube for the rebroadcast, and MixCloud, mixcloud.com/EVOL Radio. Excuse me. EVOL Radio is in search of support from sponsors, artists, labels, and producers to be featured on future episodes of the broadcast. If you are, or you know of someone who is interested in being featured on future episodes, send me, DJ Darkside, a direct message on Facebook, MixCloud, or at our email, evolradio@outlook.com. Go to our Facebook page, tell us what you think about the broadcast. Say hey. I'll introduce myself and hopefully have a deep and meaningful conversation, because that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to add value and awesome music, and I'm trying to change the world with light and love. If you want to help me with that, that would be awesome. We are trying to do a special Saturday broadcast that's focused on electronic music like dubstep and EDM and house and trance and all that kind of stuff. So that'll be on Saturdays. Searching for a co-host, somebody who is a legitimate DJ and who has equipment. So if you are interested, go to the Facebook at EVOL Radio and let us know. Like I said, thank you sincerely for tuning in with me on this episode. We are going to get back to the music, and we are going to play, let's see, what should we play? We're going to play my friend Air Knox with his song, Maybe, if it'll work. Nope. Okay, we're going to try something else. We are going to try, let's see. Automatic Evolution from Newport, Kentucky, with their song. Is it going to work? Countdown. Yes, it works. Thank you for tuning in with me through these technical difficulties. Thanks for keeping it evil.
Some have Kara V, and you're listening to My Symbol Too Many on EVOL Radio Live with your host, DJ Darkside.
If it'll work. Sorry, technical difficulties. We are actually going to take a moment away from the music since we're having some technical difficulties, and we are going to look at some mental health news. This is actually not about mental health, but it is from loudwire.com. It says, how can metal be even more accepting? It's a discussion. It says the metal community is built on expressing individuality and alternative ideas. We are proud to embrace people who look different, whether it be style tattoos and piercings or wild hair. All of these. So how can racism even exist here? We accept everyone, right? The reality is that racism is a systemic issue that has seeped into all facets of our lives, and metal is not excluded. And while we are an accepting and diverse community, there is of course room for improvement. We can't help eradicate something without accepting that it is here and understanding how it manifests. That's why we asked a group of metal musicians to discuss some difficult topics around racism and help us better understand how it finds its way into the music industry, and to hopefully make our community even more compassionate and accepting. Not only metal, I think electronica, rock, and industrial. This needs to actually extend to all facets of music, not just metal. This is something that is a very touchy topic, and I'm accepting of everybody, for real. I look at vibes, okay? I don't look at skin color, I don't look at background or religion or anything. You know, if you're respectful, I'll respect you. And it's rough out there. Try to be kind to everybody. I'm not going to read too much more of this. It's a very long article. You can look at it on loudwire.com. It's called, How Can Metal Be Even More Accepting? We are going to take a look at some mental health news, like I mentioned before, on sciencedaily.com. So, this is an article called People React Better to Both Negative and Positive Events with More Sleep. Sleep is very important. Sleep deprivation can cause you to have health problems, especially psychosis. If you are not getting enough sleep, your day is going to be crap. You're just going to react horribly to events that shouldn't even be like that. So this was published very recently, September 15th, 2020, so that was about 9 days ago, from the University of British Columbia. It says, new research from the University of British Columbia finds that after a night of shorter sleep, people react more emotionally to stressful events the next day, and they don't find as much joy in the good things. The study, led by health psychologist Nancy Sin, interesting name, looks at how sleep affects our reaction to both stressful and positive events in daily life. She says when people experience something positive, such as getting a hug or spending time in nature, they typically feel happier that day. But we found that when a person sleeps less than their usual amount, they don't have as much of a boost in positive emotions from their positive events. People also reported a number of stressful events in their daily lives, including arguments, social tensions, work and family stress, and being discriminated against. Come on, people, be better. Quit discriminating against people. When people slept less than usual, they responded to these stressful events with a greater loss of positive emotions. This has important health implications. Previous research by Sin and others shows that being unable to maintain positive emotions in the face of stress puts people at risk of inflammation and even an earlier death. Stop being stressed out. And somebody's car alarm's going off outside, so sorry about that. Using daily diary data from a national U.S. sample of almost 2,000 people, Sin analyzed sleep duration and how people responded to negative and positive solutions the next day. The participants reported on their experiences and the amount of sleep they had the previous night in daily telephone interviews over 8 days. The recommended guideline for a good night's sleep is at least 7 hours, yet 1 in 3 adults, get this, 1 in 3 adults don't meet this standard. A large body of research has shown that inadequate sleep increases the risk for mental disorders, chronic health conditions, and premature death. My study adds to this existence, says Nancy Sin, by showing that even minor night-to-night fluctuations in sleep duration can have consequences in how people respond to events in their daily lives. Chronic health conditions such as heart disease, diabetes, and cancer are prevalent among adults, especially as we grow older. Past research suggests that people with health conditions are more reactive when faced with stressful situations, possibly due to wear and tear of the physiological stress systems. We were also interested in whether adults with chronic health conditions might gain an even larger benefit from sleep than healthy adults. For those with chronic health conditions, we found that longer sleep, compared to one's usual sleep duration, led to better responses to positive experiences on the following day. You can read more at ScienceDaily.com. The article is entitled "People React Better to Both Negative and Positive Events with More Sleep." We are going to take another look at an article called "Loss of a Pet Can Trigger Mental Health Issues in Children." I love pets. I think that they are a blessing to anybody who has them, a source of unconditional love. Please don't mistreat your pets. That's not very nice. The death of a family pet can trigger a sense of grief in children that is profound and prolonged, and can potentially lead to subsequent mental health issues, according to a new study by researchers at Massachusetts General Hospital. This was published 14 days ago, September 10th, 2020. The article says one of the first major losses a child will encounter is likely to be the death of a pet, and the impact can be traumatic, especially when that pet feels like a member of the family. It says, we found this experience of pet death is often associated with elevated mental health symptoms in children, and that parents and physicians need to recognize and take those symptoms seriously, not simply brush them off. Roughly half of households in developed countries own at least one pet, and as the Massachusetts General Hospital investigators reported, the bonds that children form with pets can resemble secure human relationships in terms of providing affection, protection, and reassurance. What's more, previous studies have shown that children often turn to pets for comfort and to voice their fears and emotional experiences. While the increased empathy, self-esteem, and social competence that often flow from this interaction is clearly beneficial, the downside is the exposure of children to the death of a pet, which occurs with 63% of children with pets during their first 7 years of life. You can read more on ScienceDaily.com. The article, again, is entitled "Loss of a Pet Can Potentially Trigger Mental Health Issues in Children." I want to remind you that this is Suicide Awareness, Suicide Prevention Month, and, I deal with it. I think many people in their lifetime think about suicide as an answer. It's a permanent solution to a temporary problem. Things will get better if you try, if you keep doing it. Trust me, because I've been there, and, they do. Reach out to your friends. Reach out if you're having suicidal thoughts. If you're considering not being around permanently, reach out. Hit me up on Facebook or at EVOL Radio. I will take time out of my day to talk to you and to make sure you're okay, because I love you. I know that's crazy because I probably don't know you that well, but I still love you. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline has a website, suicidepreventionlifeline.org. There's also a chat button at the top right of the screen if you don't feel like calling. These are volunteers. They don't get paid for this. They have probably dealt with it or had someone who has dealt with it in their life and had negative consequences like death from it. And they definitely want to be there to prevent that happening in your life. So please, if you are thinking about suicide as an option, please don't. You matter. You're worthy. You are loved. You are not alone. We are going to get back to the music. We're going to try to play Sophia V again. Hopefully this gets worked out, because it's kind of demotivating. Let's see if I can do this on my own. Sorry about the dead air. I'm trying to be both entertaining and trying to fix this at the same time. Is it going to work? Oh, yeah. Sophia V with her single, Too Many. EVOL Radio Live, CincyUnderground.com. thank you for keeping it evil with me through these technical difficulties. I appreciate each and every one of you.
Anyway.
Cincinnati, are you COVID-19 ready? While many are not, or are still trying to prepare with little to no supplies, the American Red Cross wants America to be Red Cross ready. While the coronavirus, also known as COVID-19, is steady on the rise, evolving, the American Red Cross has been and will continue to monitor this current pandemic and continue as they have since the 1900s, placing services, resources, and more to families and ones at need throughout the United States. As many come together to support and donate, American Red Cross continues to stand by their mission and their value. I encourage you to call 513-579-3000. Again, that's 513-579-3000. Or you can visit the American Red Cross website at www.redcross.org. Remember, Red Cross wants you to be Red Cross ready.
Nobody trusts anybody now. We're all very tired.
To
tuning in with me. On this episode of EVOL Radio, we are playing the most dirty, heavy, danceable underground electronica, rock, metal, and industrial. I'm your host, DJ Darkside, and I'm trying to do something new this year to get over my anxiety. I have a little bit of social anxiety, interacting with people that I don't know, starting conversations. I'm sure some of you people out there tuning in can relate. So I've taken it upon myself to face my fears head on and get over it by conducting some interviews from some of the artists that you hear on EVOL Radio. And this one was with a project called Ayatoya. She is very awesome. She is interviewing with me, talking about being a one-woman industrial army. She's talking about women's empowerment, being an independent, productive, artistic woman, some mental health issues, not that she has, just in general, and some causes that are dear to her heart. We even sit down and talk about her dog. So here you go. Interview with Ayatoya. I am going to take a coffee break. I hope you enjoy. Thank you for keeping it evil. Introduce yourself and let our listeners know about your band or your project.
So, hello everyone, I am Ayatoya, which when spoken out loud in Polish, it means it's just me. And it literally is just me because I am a so-called one-woman army. So, I perform by myself, I play multiple different instruments on stage simultaneously, and I also write my own music, and so that's the short story behind Ayatoya.
Very cool. That is amazing. I know that there are a lot of women out there who are probably very inspired by what you're doing and the fact that you do it alone.
And that's so awesome because, that's exactly like what we should do, right? We should all inspire each other and elevate each other. And it wasn't easy to do what I do, because I had no idea that I even can be doing all this by myself. Mm-hmm. And I came from the environment of bands, and so I was in metal band before, and I was singing and not really doing all those other crazy things that I'm doing now. But the reason why I decided to go solo is that independence, for one, and then for second, it's that I'm very driven and passionate about the music and about writing and making all the stuff that I'm creating now, and I love doing it, and I sometimes feel like it's hard to find the bandmates that have the similar levels of passion and ability to focus and ability to really sort of just give everything for this, and so being by myself is a little easier to manage that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, I understand. That's kind of how I was with my own project. I have a very similar background, and I just got tired of, all the egos and everybody arguing about stuff, and it was just easier for me to go out and do my own thing. And I think that is something that people are afraid of, is being alone and doing things on their own and being successful in that regard.
Oh, it's so true. First of all, you don't have anyone to blame for any mistakes.
Yeah.
But, I never really was that way anyways, so that was not a problem. But I remember at the moment when I decided to do this one-woman army thing, literally everyone around me was like, it's not possible. But you can. But how? How are you going to do this? Nah, you're not going to do this. Kind of reaction from people was like, why does everybody think it's impossible? Everything is possible. And it is possible.
Did that inspire you more to want to do it?
Oh yes, definitely. And I'm just very happy. Honestly, I've never been more happy musically. I feel very fulfilled ever since I started doing it on my own, and very excited to keep growing and keep creating and keep connecting with my beautiful audience.
Yeah, I think that's essential as an artist, is to always grow and learn new techniques, and because I think that when a lot of musicians get success, they kind of fall into a groove of repeating just whatever works for them, what got them successful, and they don't really try to expand.
Oh yes, it's very much true. I've always been looking more of a long term in my life. And so I'm really not rushing into making something that maybe will be very temporary. Rather, music is a form of self-expression to me, and so by my creations, I'm just speaking the way I am. I'm talking about how I feel and how I perceive the world and how I observe the world, from the other people around me. And it's just sort of like, it's unforced, it's very natural. It's happening because I have this inner need of making it and talking about it. And so it's really sort of, I guess just awesome. Because I don't have to pretend anything, and I don't have to try extra hard to be something I'm not. I'm just me, and so that's how I am. Right? It's just me. And when I find people who respond to what I create, to what I do, people who connect with it, it's like the greatest honor.
Yeah. Who are you inspired by?
Oh my goodness, it's like hard to tell because so many different inspirations that I have, and they are very eclectic. Obviously, in industrial scene, we have all wax tracks, record history, especially in Chicago. So all those, musicians and bands involved in wax tracks back in time are just like, naturally something that I look up to and highly admire. But then there is just a bunch of other musicians, anything from jazz and classical music to a very dark death metal inspires me. That's why it's hard to tell. I look for the feeling, I look for the color of music, I look for how it makes me, feel, what emotions it brings me. It's sort of how I create. So it's not really by the genre itself or like even particular artist. It's by what moves me. I don't know.
No,
it's so different.
I understand that because I'm that way. I get into everything that's out there, and I think that as an artist is good to be well-rounded, especially if you are trying to be successful in a business sense, because you appeal to more people as opposed to just putting yourself into a restrictive genre of music, where you only fit in with one kind of scene, I guess.
Yes, exactly, yes. So I could definitely say that what I do and what attracts me musically is dark music. It's dark music and dark meanings.
Yeah.
And that's something I just love and adore. And other than that, it's just something that makes me feel. So a lot of soundtrack music, I'm very attracted to the whole cinema, world, because soundtracks are just really created to where they...
Well, what? Anyway, more technical difficulties. All right, we're gonna try this again. I'm sorry about that. Yeah. So, nice. Interviews, yeah. Whoops. Sorry about that. Yeah, dead air. Yeah. Sorry I'm having a bit of a difficult time right now. Let's try that again. Alright. Dark, others are very deep and inspiring. Are there any hidden meanings behind your music, or are you pretty direct about what you want to say?
Oh, I usually write in like multiple layers. So the songs that I write usually have at least two different sets of meanings. And they are, that's sort of like how I am also, in life. I discover things and I see them from different perspectives. I try to be very flexible every day, and I think that's why that style of writing is the way it is in my case. So I do have hidden meanings, and I always hope that people will find them in their own way, discover them in their own way. But there are also the meanings that are maybe more on the surface. Maybe the first time you hear the song, you may think this is the subject, but then the deeper you go into the song, you realize, oh no, she's actually trying to say something else here. And so that's my aim, and that's what I try to do. When I write it again. The second time when I write, and it's just something that then later becomes, a tangible music, is when I prepare something in the kitchen, like cook or chop stuff. It's where those ideas hit me, and so what I do, I just have this set of words pouring into my mind, and along with it, usually I already hear the arrangement. It's sort of like I hear the drum that I want to have there, and then it comes with the bass. So I have this recorder in my in my phone. I'm sorry, and every time it happens, which is all the time literally, I record those ideas. So I record the melody of the vocal, and then I sort of like, the sound of the drum that I want, and then the bass line, and then I sort of like relay them, with my mouth, so that I don't forget what I meant. And then later on I go to my studio and I start working on the song. So it depends, because sometimes it begins with lyrics. I have this idea, this spot that suddenly hits me. I'm like, wow, this actually could be cool in the song, this line. And I just start writing, and I have this lyric, and then it just sits there, because I don't have melody for it yet. And then there is a day that comes, and I'm like, wow, I think I have an idea. And then it continues, and the song becomes from that lyric. Other times I start exactly the same way, but then as I work on the song, I change the lyrics completely, so it becomes something else. So it's hard to tell. I swear, man, I don't have like one way of doing it ever.
That's all right, because like I said before, I think that that versatility makes you a better artist. It's definitely refreshing, because there are a lot of people who are out in the music world who just repeat the same thing over and over and over, and they have a set process, and it becomes very kind of dull and boring. And so to find someone who's eclectic and who does things a different way all the time, I mean, that's very refreshing.
Yes, I'm sure. I feel this way. I never get bored of making music.
Yeah.
Because of that, it's such a creative process. It keeps inspiring me. When I do this, I get more inspired. I want to do more. It's just so much fun. It's so much fun.
So do you collaborate with others? You do remixes or anything like that? And if you do, how's that process any different?
So I haven't started on the remixes just yet. Okay. I was actually just talking to one of my colleagues that, once I get my studio all set up, I'm about to be moving, so it's sort of like I'm living crazy life right now, and like sort of semi-on suitcases, semi-normal life, but when I get back, up with my studio, being all set up and ready, I'd like to start working on remixes. I've been asked a couple times, and I've just been so very busy with my own stuff that I was not able to do this. But now I will want to begin this journey. I think I'm going to have a lot of fun doing that, thing. Other than that, collaborations. Of course, I do collaborations. So I did the remix album of my Code Blue album, Code Blue Reloaded and Code Blue Revelations. Yeah. Actually, a set of 10 songs each, making 20 songs together. And I've collaborated on this with a bunch of amazing artists, both independent and like the bigger artists such as Light Fulber or Colt from Marilyn Manson. And it's just, it's been amazing. I mean, it's such a great journey to hear your songs being reimagined by those other great creatives. Yeah. So this kind of collaborations, definitely. I've been laying my vocals for some of the projects that are out there. I cannot say much more just yet because they are sort of like secretive, but there is a bunch of stuff coming. I think still this year, later this year, there's at least 3 projects that I've been working on with other bands and individuals, creatives, that will be releasing this year. I also am part of the Joy Tips, which is industrial supergroup.
Yeah.
I should rather say post-industrial supergroup. And those guys are just amazing. You know, it's so funny because I am one-woman army, and then there's this 30 people, you know, squad.
Yeah.
But the great thing about the Joytips is that there is absolutely no egos involved, and this is just beautiful flow of creativity and connection and talent. So I'm very honored to be part of this amazing group.
That's amazing to find. I know that for some reason, a lot of musicians who are out there doing things are very protective and very insecure about somebody else being involved. There's like a control factor to it, and so for you to find that kind of openness and, you know, anything goes kind of attitude is very lucky.
Yes, it is. And you know, I mean, everybody has to be careful. I think I understand where those insecurities of musicians who are afraid to collaborate come from, because music world, music business world can be very harsh. So, you know, we always need to be not only on top of our game, but we need to understand what happens behind the scenes, what's part of the business. Artists often don't understand how important it is to, you know, have your PRO organization, to like take care of your copyright, to really think of that business side of things. And that's how they get screwed, and that's how they, you know, have no trust left, because they suddenly they don't get their royalties, or, you know, they are being used in some other form that is that's just awful. But, you know, the good thing is that we can all do this. We can all, as independent artists or signed artists, take care of those things and really look out for ourselves to make sure we are playing a safe game.
Now, I see on your Instagram that you're a suicide prevention advocate, and of course, September is Suicide, you know, Awareness or Prevention Month. Is there anything special that you do for that?
Oh yes, so I actually just wrapped up a very special project. So when quarantine hit, you know, a lot of us were in funk, and we were just trying to make sense of what's going on. And my first thought that I had was, there is going to be a lot of suicides because of that thing that's happening. Yeah. There is going to be market crashing and people losing jobs and people losing hope. And so I came up with this idea that I will reach out to a bunch of artists who paint or create, you know, some sort of tangible form of art. And I will have them paint to the lyrics of one of my songs.
Oh, cool.
And so Complete album, my debut album, is sort of devoted to mental health and suicide. And so is everything that I write, really. It's a lot of mentally infused meanings and stuff like that. So I found amazing artists who were willing to participate in this, and in result, I got like 20 pieces of beautiful, beautiful handmade art. And so I did an auction, and the auction was running for about 2 months, and all the money from this auction are going, because I'm still waiting for the transaction to be completed, and all the money transferred to the account so that I can actually do the, you know, public official donation of the money. But we ended up raising, so I don't lie, I will look on the website, because on charity auctions today there was this whole thing going on publicly. So we raised $2,451.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, I'm so excited for this. So it was called Art Auction for Mental Health during the times of pandemic with American Foundation for Suicide Prevention.
That's very cool. I know that's something that I've dealt with in the past, and is very close to my heart, and I definitely, I'm not involved in any charitable organizations yet, but I do definitely let people know almost every episode. I have a mental health minute where I discuss some ideas and stuff like that. I think it's definitely something that in the United States, I'm not sure about all around the world, but it's something that has been neglected for a while, and it's something that's very important to people, to make sure you have a healthy, mental or emotional state in your life.
Oh yes, it's definitely the very, very foundation of our well-being. Our bodies won't function if our mental health is not good. And I feel it's because it's not so visible. Mm-hmm. Like, you break your leg, And so, you go to doctor and they put it in cast, and like you have all this healing process. With mental unwellness, it is not so visible. So it's not that obvious you broke your mind, right?
Right.
And also there has been a lot of stigma about mental health, like if that's something wrong. And so I feel just like what you do, like we do, just talk about it, right? To make people feel more familiar with the subject and make sure that they know that it's okay not to be okay.
Yeah.
And we aren't sometimes, and it's absolutely normal. It's part of who we are, part of humanity. So there is no shame in addressing that. There is no shame in confessing that. No shame in talking about it, and definitely no shame in seeking help.
Right. I try to let people know that. I try to let people know that they definitely have. Everybody has physical needs like shelter and clothing and food, but I don't think that a lot of people are aware that there are psychological needs, like the need to express yourself or even the need to be heard. And so I make sure to cover that on my show.
That's awesome. I'm so happy that you're doing it. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's something that I dealt with in my past a lot, and over the last 2 years, I think I've unfortunately tried to end my life 5 times, and it just hasn't worked out. And now I'm thankful for that experience, that I can use that, and so people know that they're not alone in dealing with it.
Exactly. I'm so glad that you survived this, that, now you see yourself in a different light and your life is in a, better place. And, just, think about this. We wouldn't have this conversation right now.
Yeah.
And that's just so terrifying, I'm a suicide loss survivor. I lost my mom to suicide a couple years back, and ever since, I've been very troubled by just those questions in my head, and things that I have not seen, have not realized. So it's so important to not just talk about it, but also to just be kind to everyone, to be kind to each other, to uplift each other, and to just check on your close ones, right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes those demons are buried so deeply that you can see them.
Right. I'm sorry for your loss. I lost my mom when I was young, so I can understand how that is. Do you think that...
I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. I appreciate that, though. And I really think that checking up on your friends and, even going out of your way to ask somebody, how are you doing? I think that is so important. That can literally save somebody's life.
Yeah, it really does, yes. And smile, and just give this good energy. Good energy is something that comes back. And it comes back with double force. So it's so important to just give the good to the world. Really, it's not very hard.
Yeah.
But we have to focus on that, and we have to want to. And once we do, things are better.
Yeah, definitely. So is there anything that you do outside of music, like a hobby or any kind of art? You mentioned painting. Do you do that and it helps inspire you to, like cooking, you said? Does that help you with making better music?
I'm not sure. Cooking is just another form of art that I've always enjoyed, and it's more of an unwinding kind of thing for me. So after the long day, I'm just loving to do that, and I have some fun stuff what I make, so I have people, audience for my culinary adventures. So I'm just happy, because that makes them happy, so that makes me happy, and that's this circle of good energy happening just because of the food. But then I also recently picked up on painting because of the project for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, and I myself created a couple of the pieces of paintings too. And I really loved it. So it's not my last adventure with painting. I got into this and I very much enjoyed it. So I will do more and more in the future for sure. Other than that, I am obsessed with loving my dog. I have a little Pomeranian Benek, and he's my emotional support animal, actually allegedly done via the psychologist and stuff. He's my best friend, and he's such a cool fella. I love spending time with him. I love building adventures in life for him. So as a person who loves traveling and who loves nature, I'm just very happy to always take him on those little journeys with me and just have him have a good life, because he's been adopted, and prior to the adoption he had a very bad life. So now, you know, I love making him happy. That's like something, I don't know if that's a hobby, but that's definitely a thing I do every day, and I love it. I couldn't live without it.
Yeah, I think that having you know, pets and taking care of those kind of animals, I guess, you know, it makes you feel like you're really making their quality of life better. And you know, animals are something that if they know they're protected and they know they're safe and they know that the person who is in their life is going to take care of them, they're very like, it's very like unconditional love, you know, and you know, you're very blessed to have that in your life. I wish that I wish that people took more of a importance to causes like the SPCA or, you know, anything like that, and especially with like a shelter dog or a shelter cat, you know, they understand what that's like to have a hard life, to be abused and to, you know, go without food. And so when you get a pet like that, they're always like usually super loving once they get comfortable with you.
Yes, and they have trust issues, but after that's passed, then they learn to trust. And also, you know, we as humans with huge responsibility. I feel like I can't ever understand why people would abuse an animal or give animal up. I mean, to a certain degree, there are situations that people just cannot help. They have to give animal up, but the abuse part, I will never understand.
Yeah, I don't understand that either. It actually makes me pretty furious when I learn about that. But so we're almost done. Is there any shout-outs or social media links or other ways for fans to connect with you?
Oh yeah, so you can find me at ayatoya.com and anything with Ayatoya. So Ayatoya is my handle on all the social media. So Ayatoya, which is IYATOYAH, at Instagram, at Twitter, at Facebook, what else? Like everywhere. Like basically, Bandcamp is, you know, come to my Bandcamp. Definitely, I have some cool merch. A lot of this merch I designed on my own. There is also my dog's song, my dog recorded song. It's called Forbidden Bark. And yes, so there's a bunch of cool stuff, you know, on my Bandcamp page. And so, like, I always encourage people to come and check it out, because it's not only my music, but also those t-shirts and like my dog stickers and some other fun stuff like face masks I designed when pandemic hit. But as for the, you know, shout out, I just want to thank all my fans. I am just speechless because I get a lot of love from my beautiful, beautiful fans. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being with me on this journey.
Well, I'm sure that they, much like me, love your art, and they also find you to be a really good person, and that's why I love to do what I'm doing. I mean, to be able to hear, you know, this amazing art that people put their soul into every week, and to be able to help out, you know, artists who are just bearing their soul to the world, that's something that I'm very passionate about. You know, I just want to, my personal, you know, I call it my divine purpose is to change the world with light and love, and I do that every day however I can, and this is part of it. You know, being able to have a personal conversation with you and to allow people who love your music to get a little bit in depth with you, you know, and also to take what you're doing and help blast it out all over the world.
Yeah, so what you do is absolutely great, you know. Not only you're helping artists connect with their fans, but you also help fans discover new artists. And all this together is just great stuff. It's positive, beautiful energy, you know. So yeah, thank you for doing what you do.
It's my pleasure, for real. Now, the last question that I have for you is, let's see. You've been fairly successful. I mean, you mentioned that you had a metal band before. Now you're doing your own thing. Is there any advice that you would like to give for somebody who wants to follow in your footsteps?
Oh yes, don't let anyone tell you that something is impossible. That's very important, number one thing, because everything is possible. And if it's not gonna be possible one way, then it's gonna be possible the other way. The walk might take a little longer, you might have to go a little around, but if you have a true passion in your heart, you can do anything, absolutely anything. And I highly, highly encourage you to do so, and I wish you the best of luck.
Very good advice. That's actually it for me. Now, aside from the interview, do you have any like logos or graphics or anything that you can send to me so that I can make like an ad material to blast out on social media tomorrow?
Of course. So what I'm gonna...
So that was Ayatoya with talking about just whatever, mental health news, you know, projects, getting along with people, stuff like that. I want to definitely thank her for taking time out of her busy schedule and her crazy hectic life, moving and everything, to sit down and talk with me a little bit about her life and music and stuff like that. I'm definitely grateful for her. Look her up on social media, Ayatoya, Ayatoyah. We are going to play her song, It's No Good. Thank you for tuning in with me on this episode of EVOL Radio. I'm DJ Darkside, SingSunderground.com studios, live streams. Thanks for keeping it evil.
Everybody else, engine blows. That's what it feels like in my head. That's what it feels like in my head. When the grinder starts, when the metal gets cut, that's what it feels like in my head. That's what it feels like in my head. When a big rock hits you hard, when it hits you in the gut, that's what it feels like in my head. That's what it feels like in my head.
You are listening to EVOL Radio Live. I'm your host, DJ Darkside. That was the Addiction remix of Ego Likeness' song Drugs, done by me. I was very fortunate to do that. They are pretty cool, Ego Likeness. I've played shows with them before. Super cool people, Donna Lynch and Steven Archer. If you don't know of them, some of you do, some of you don't. Go check them out on social media. Bandcamp, whatever. Ego Likeness is amazing. Steven has been doing kind of his own thing with a project called Stoneburner. We are playing his song next, but I am trying to schedule an interview with him, so hopefully that happens. He's a super talented guy. He's an artist outside of the art of music, and he's a good guy all around. Very smart, intelligent, very experienced when it comes to the business of music. This is his project Stoneburner with his song, whatever. Are You There the Way I'm Here? EVOL Radio Live, CincyUnderground.com. Thanks for keeping it evil. are listening to EVOL Radio Live. I'm your host, DJ Darkside. That is it for me. I am out of here. That was a fun 3 hours. I am going to start a electronica-based episode of EVOL Radio on Saturdays. Not sure exactly what time. Looking for a host. If you know anybody local to Cincinnati or the surrounding areas, have them get a hold of me. Experience is necessary. Would like to do a live mixed tag team format, and equipment is necessary. So if you know anybody, send them to my Facebook page at EVOL Radio. Also, you go to my Facebook page, please, and leave me a like or share it with your friends, or leave some good, Anya from Ayatoya said, leave some good energy. So, like I said, that's it for me. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of EVOL Radio. I sincerely appreciate and love each and every one of you. It's Suicide Awareness Prevention Month, so please reach out. You matter, you are important, and I love you. Thank you for keeping it evil. This is DJ Darkside. Ladies and gentlemen, I really hate to do it, but my time with you is up. I have to leave you for a bit and let you continue to explore and find your own path. But no worries, I'll be back here again soon to stroll through musical landscapes with the most dirty, heavy, danceable, underground electronica, rock, metal, and industrial. This is DJ Darkside saying, keep it